It is Wednesday, the 5th of February 2025, and the US markets are just about to open. I do have a position here based off the break of the 1345 15-minute candle in gold to the upside. This was in my plan, and I mentioned it in the morning session that I was going to take it if it breaks to the long side. It did. Stop is below the bar, and target has been calculated using my spreadsheet, so my research plus looking at the structure as well. I think this is a very reasonable target. I am risking only $32 in hope of making 59, so almost a 2-to-1, which is nice. I will let this one run. You might also notice that I have added the popular ATR indicator to my charts. The reason for this is that I do want to start adding more to my winners, and I want to do it in a mechanical fashion as well. So I have devised some rules to add to my positions using ATR and doing it completely mechanically. Now those conditions haven't been met here for this trade, so this will have no add-on, but I will just hope that it slowly grinds its way towards the target. I will explain my method for adding a bit later. I will now just focus on price action. First up will be the break of the second 5-minute bar in the Dow. So I will wait for that. And then my other very important entries for this session will be the break of the first 15-minute bar in the Nasdaq, the break of the fourth 15-minute bar in SPX, and I might also consider the break of the third 15-minute bar in the Dow. So that's coming up. Oh, and also the second 15-minute bar in the DAX. I almost forgot to mention that one. So these are the entries I'm looking at. And I'm also going to make some small adjustments to my sizing. So I want to risk a bit more on the setups that are working especially well. So the setups in which I have most confidence in, I will take them with 0.75% risk instead of 0.5%. And then some of the other trades that perhaps are still good but not as excellent in the past 2 weeks, but still in the positive, I will take them maybe a bit lower, 0.3%. So yeah, a little bit of adjustment. I'm trying to maximize my better moves and my better setups to get more out of them and to minimize losses. And also I'll be a bit more aggressive with the stop loss when I add to positions. So when I add to positions, I will basically be looking at fast moves and strong moves, and I will only be adding when a move happens quite quickly and I see, for example, let's take this move as an example, this entry. Had I seen a move that equaled ATR, so 3.5, after I went long here, if in the first 5 minutes we had moved 3.5 points, I would have added to the position and I would have moved the stop loss to the original entry to break even. So this way I'm looking at high momentum moves to add to them and be a bit more aggressive. So when I'm gonna be right and gonna hit a move that is very strong, I'm gonna win more on it. And when price reverses, I'm just gonna lose the minimum. So this is just a way to hopefully extract more value from my research and my strategies, I've been actually looking over all of my data for the past few days, looking for ways I can improve results to get this account passed a bit faster. So let's see how this works. I will further explain the moves as they happen. And good initial reaction here. Like I said, not enough to add. I need the move that equals ATR to happen in the first 5 minutes since entering, and that didn't happen, so I didn't add. So I'll just let this run, and hopefully we can get a nice TP here. And in the meantime, I'm waiting for the second 5-minute bar to form in the Dow, and I'll bring you back for that. Second 5-minute bar has formed. Just double checking the cushion here. 5 to 6 points as per usual. Was a bit too far. So I am using a bit of a larger sizing for this entry. According to my research, this is one of my best entries. So it makes sense to go a bit larger size here because there's a higher chance of success. When I get filled, I will target, let's see here, I will target around 80 points, give or take. I will also be looking at the structure, of course. So let's see, I don't really mind that I'm close to previous day high. As you know, with these mechanical entries, I am completely comfortable to go long at resistance or go short at support if I get filled that way. We are obviously going above London high here, so there's always a risk that we will just raid this area and reverse. But again, this method is highly researched and it provides wins over time, so no reason not to be a bit more ambitious here. So I'm risking 97 here. Like I said, I'm risking a bit more. Probably 97 is a bit more than I wanted. I wanted like 75 to 80, but let's leave it like that for now. And I am targeting 80 points, so $80. A bit below a 1-to-1, but it's still fine. And now in terms of adding, I'm looking at the ATR, and if in the first 5 minutes since entering we gain 28 points, I'm going to add to that position. So 28 points, let's just see it really quick. So it would be exactly at previous day high, around that. And now the first 15-minute bar in the Nasdaq has completed, so I'm quickly applying the orders as well. Again, a bit of a larger sizing. That is the long. And this is the short. Six-point cushion. And 5 minutes are almost up since we've entered here. So we haven't had that quick move above that I'm looking for, so it doesn't qualify for an add-on. So I'm just going to add to the very strongest moves that I can find when price immediately goes my way. Those are the moves where I want to add and try to enlarge my position. So we have the orders in for Nasdaq, and next on the list is going to be the second 15-minute bar in the DAX, which is going to be a normal 0.5% risk. These were the only 0.75 to 0.9, so the enhanced entries for Nasdaq and Dow. The others are normal for the rest of the day. So I'm going to monitor price action here and see what happens. We'll wait for a fill. Hopefully the Dow is just faking going below here. Just need a close now above London session high, and I think we're very likely to go further up and hit TP here. So let's see. I will pause you and bring you back. Getting close to hitting TP here in gold, and I'll actually be a bit proactive here and just close. And looking at the Dow, we're not looking so good right now, but still some way off getting stopped out. So let's see. Still no fill in the Nasdaq, so we'll wait for that as well. The reason why I decided to close here is because gold has been known to retrace a bit right after the open, and I just wanted to lock in the profits. No reason to see a pullback here and wait longer to get the same amount of profit. So I'll just, sorry about that. I'll just wait for the other entries, especially for the DAX second 15 minutes, which will be a normal entry, and we're likely to get stopped out here. Unfortunate, but this has been one of our better entries, so completely reasonable and validated to use bigger sizing. Normally the break of the second 15-minute bar in gold would also be an entry, but it hasn't worked as well lately. And looking at it further for today, it looks to me like it's just too weak overall, that it doesn't win enough to justify taking it daily right now. I might change that opinion if it posts a few good days in a row again, but let's see. So I'm taking it off for now, and it's also a bit of a reason why I've decided to just manually close this. It was a nice trade, exited at pretty much the top of the move so far, so I'm happy with that. And it was a nice win for 51, especially since I used a lower sizing and only risked like $34. So it's a nice win. Still waiting 7 minutes till we complete the second 15-minute bar, and still no fill in the Nasdaq, so waiting for that as well. So we did get stopped out in the Dow. Unfortunate. It has happened a few times lately that when I decide to increase the sizing on a good entry, it just doesn't work out. But I will be consistent with it, so I will keep increasing and using an increased size for the very best entries. The fact that it didn't work today does not change the fact that it has been one of my better entries. So with that in mind, for the Dow now, I will wait for the completion of the third 15-minute bar, so that's a bit of a way off. So quite the move here. Like I was explaining, what you don't want to see is price going above London session. The yellow box is London session, and then reversing strongly into it. This now favors a move almost all the way down. There's a case to be made that we can go long below the low here if we revisit this. So I might be interested in a long position here, right below London. If we go below London and then we retrace back into the range. But I'm not going to place an order for this. I'm just going to wait and see. But more likely I will enter off the third 15-minute bar. So let's see the DAX here. I'm gonna measure this candle now. I don't want to see a candle that's over 50 points for the DAX though. So it's 539. Okay, so it's a 39 point bar, which is very okay. So we will have like $1 per point here. And it's 3 minutes left until the bar is complete, so I'll bring you back then. So the bar is completed. I've placed my buy order above, sell order below, and we have gotten filled in the Nasdaq. So deleting the short order, placing stop below. Let's see, like that, risking 70. So on this move, I will target 90 to 100 points. Let's see where that is. Okay, so I'm gonna go exactly for previous day high basically with it. It's fine. Fortunately, we're getting a bit of a pullback right after getting filled. That happens sometimes. And we've had some news. I was just checking this. ISM non-manufacturing PMI came in negative, which should actually be supportive for stocks and commodities, for indices and commodities, sorry. So let's see. This is the live P&L right now. Bit of a mixed day, but we still have several entries to look forward to, so let's see how we continue here. Doesn't look like we're going to add in the Nasdaq as well. I mean, either. I would need price to close 30 points above our entry, or 31 points above our entry in the first 5 minutes for my add-on rules to be fulfilled. It's not happening. But let's see. We'll also wait for a fill in the DAX, and then waiting to complete the third 15-minute bar. Unfortunately, we got filled quite quickly and then stopped out quite quickly in the Nasdaq as well. Again, the moment I decide to increase size on my best entries, this happens, but it's fine. Completely accounted for. And also got filled in the DAX short here, so let's hope for at least one good entry here. I would now target close to the lows here. Let's see from my spreadsheet what I can gather. I would say 60 points is the most likely. So let's see, 60 points would be around here. So let's not push too much. I'm going to respect my research and we'll just target 60 points here. So yeah, sadly the better entries did not work out for this session. That can happen. But again, we stuck to our rules, so that is more than okay in my book. I'm waiting for the completion of the third 15-minute bar in the Dow here. It's quite a big bar, and we have rated the lows here. So I'm just thinking, let me just check 534. So this is a 200-point bar. I cannot enter with my mechanical entry. So instead, I will just wait to see if price goes back into London range here. And I just want to see a close, even on the 5-minute time frame, back into the London range. But yeah, I'm gonna stay patient. I'm going to wait for that. My only concern is that we do seem to be somewhat correlated with the DAX, where I am short. So let's see. I'll pause you and bring you back. So normally we would have had an entry here, but I'm kind of hesitating with this price action. I find it a bit just too volatile to enter manually and not off a mechanical entry. And also it is opposite my DAX mechanical entry. But it does look like it does have a bit of strength, but let's see. I'm fine passing on this and just sticking to my mechanical entries. Obviously, I will not enter off the third 15-minute bar here just because it is a 200-point bar. So for a 15-minute bar entry in the Dow, I want the bar to be at most like 100 points. When it goes above that, it becomes a bit difficult because I do have to place the stop at the opposite end, and then I just have to take it in a very diminished size, and I just don't think it's worth it. Just not worth the hassle. So I will wait on the DAX to see what happens, and I will then wait for the fourth 15-minute bar in SPX, and then later the seventh 15-minute in the Nasdaq. So I'll pause you until then. So the fourth bar has started to form in SPX, and we're still waiting on this trade in the DAX. I guess if I look at the structure here on the 15-minute chart, there is sort of a trend line here that got broken to the downside. So unless we close above it, I think this trade is still valid. And the Dow has retraced quite well back into the range. Like I said, I basically had a long trigger here. The close of this 5-minute candle here is a long trigger. We would be like 70 points in profit, but with this volatility, you don't generally want to enter manually. I could have done it, but it felt a bit like I'm entering too quickly after getting stopped out. Even though it wouldn't be revenge trading, it would be clearly based off a model that I've explained in videos before. You go below a previous range, a previous session, and then strongly back into the range, especially leaving a strong wick behind. That is a long trigger. So it wouldn't have been a like emotional entry or me doing revenge trading, but it did feel a bit off to do it that quickly after getting stopped out. So I hesitated and let it do its thing without me, which is fine. Hopefully we do go lower here in the DAX. It would be a much needed win, but even if it loses, it's not a big deal. We are well within our limit for the day. We're far away from $500, so 10 minutes until the fourth 15-minute bar completes in SPX. It will be a normal entry. So let's see, staying patient, and we'll apply my rules for the next trades as well. Only that both of these are normal 0.5% entries. So sadly, our best entries didn't work today, but that's how it goes. Obviously, with this new strategy of risking more for my better entries, I will also lose more when they don't work out. But you should see the gains be quite considerable and make up for that when we do win. So I think this is definitely the way to go according to my analysis, and I'm gonna keep at it and show you how to pass the account. So On that note, I'll pause you again. Close to completing the fourth 15-minute bar in the SPX here. Sadly, we are at the extremity, so I will likely have to enter manually here. Managed to place the order. I don't think we're gonna get to have enough of a retracement to trigger the short order, but I placed the short order as well. The DAX is trying to recover the trend line here, but let's see, this is the key moment for this trade here. And yeah, the manual Dow trade would have worked had I taken it, but I explained why I didn't, and I think it's good to be measured and to try not to be reactionary, which was the reason why I didn't enter, so I'm not going to be too upset about that. It would be nice to have a sell here in both, actually. And gold is going further. We are at all-time highs again, so that's nice. I have no further entry for gold today. Again, happy with the exit here. Was according to plan, so no issues. So gonna wait for a fill in SPX and then also a fill for the 7th 15-minute bar. Once that forms, that will be the last entry of the day. So I'll pause you a bit now. Nice reaction here. Like I said, I would love a sell here and everything, for obvious reasons. But let's see. This is why it's never good to enter manually. I try to avoid it as much as I can. But yeah, I'll pause you and bring you back when we have a fill or something of interest. So we have gotten filled long in SPX. We tried to retrace, but then moved back up. That shows quite a bit of strength. I will target 15 points here. This is in accordance to my research, plus the structure. So we're targeting yesterday's highs and risking $44. So pretty much a 1-to-1. And I will check if we... Actually, I'm planning on adding on the 5-minute chart. So if we gain 8 quick points here, I might add to the position. I'm going to add the same amount, but I'm going to add to the position. If we gain 8 points, so that would be 60.34. So we need to get to 60.34 in the next 5 minutes. And then also close and not retrace. So close at that level. I'll pause and bring you back. We've completed the 7th 15-minute candle in the Nasdaq, so I've placed a buy order above, a sell order below. I've adjusted the sizing appropriately to the bar. Probably going to get stopped out of the DAX trade here. Bit of an unfortunate session. I think we're getting a bit unlucky here, but this will happen sometimes, and we have to just power through it, basically. Nothing we can do about it. Yeah, we just got stopped out in the DAX. Completely fine. So we're still in the SPX trade, and we will get filled in the Nasdaq hopefully soon, and hopefully to the upside I would prefer. But let's see. Regardless, I will take both entries. And I will think about a target after we get filled. So I'm gonna pause you again, and these will be the last trades of the day. Unless I add to the Nasdaq if it moves quickly, but it's looking unlikely. But let's see. Patience is key. It does certainly feel like it's one of those days where everything that can go wrong will go wrong. We've just had quite a strong attempted reversal here, and it filled us short in the Nasdaq. We'll of course follow it. I've placed the take profit right at this level here, so at the lows of the current New York session. So now the SPX and the Nasdaq are going against each other, which is never ideal, but again, we are doing independent mechanical entries. All of these entries are researched and proven to return a profit over time. So whatever happens today is out of our hands. It's not a particularly great session. I think we've been a bit unlucky as well, but that's going to happen. This is why we employ careful risk management. So with that in mind, I will now wait for a resolution in these two trades. If it doesn't happen quickly, I might just end the session and we'll see the results tomorrow, but I will wait a bit for things to unfold here and we'll see what happens. So bringing you back here, we've just double bottomed on the New York range here. So we revisited the opening price of the session and we bounced back into the range. When this candle closes now, and it's quite a bullish close, I will be going long in just a few seconds here. I'm gonna wait for the close regardless of how price moves here. And I'm going long, putting stop right below here, risking exactly $50 and favoring a move back up, or almost completely back up. Let's see, targeting 65. This is basically a double bottom and retrace back into the range, a strong retrace back into the range. My add-on rules are applicable. So if we move 3.4 points in my direction, in the next 5 to 6 minutes I will add. So it would be 72.5-ish. But let's see. Still quite far away from take profit in SPX here, but close to getting stopped out in the Nasdaq. Unfortunate, but again, we are just following our rules and our research. And our researched entries are telling me that I need to follow these entries. So if we end up losing most of these on any given day, that's fine, since we respected the risk for trade. Now this isn't the reaction you want to see in gold, but we're still quite a way off from getting stopped here, so it's fine. This is basically similar to the entry I wanted to take in the Dow, but the difference was that here we had just gotten stopped out of a move and I didn't want to immediately re-enter, whereas here we were in a move earlier, we made a profit, and now we're re-entering in the same direction on a pullback and a reaction to that pullback, so it's quite different. I don't think we'll get a chance to add to this trade because the move is just not happening as quick as we would need it to, but I'll keep monitoring it and we'll see. Things are looking ready to break out here. I'll pause you and bring you back. And we did get stopped out on the Nasdaq. we were gonna get stopped out in one of them once they filled in different directions, but basically we had sort of a hedge. So a bit unlucky in the Nasdaq, as you can see today. We got just filled long before a correction, stopped out, then we went long. So just filled in the wrong direction twice. That will happen with mechanical entries. You have to be aware of that. This is why risk management is essential. And we were close to adding here. We're just at the 5-minute mark. We needed like one extra point. It hasn't really happened, and I need to be aware of this wick right here. So we need to close above it. So the rules for adding haven't been fulfilled. Like I said, my rules for adding will be very aggressive, and I will only add when we have a strong move upwards. Those are the moves where I want to add quickly and move my stop loss up quickly. It isn't the case, so that's fine. I'll just monitor these trades now, and hopefully we can finish on a bit of a high here, because it's not been an easy session, but like I said, it's all part of a long-term plan and long-term entry model, so just have to keep applying our rules and the result will come, and you will see it all on this channel. So I'm just going to monitor these trades now and bring you back if there's something significant. And we have hit TP and SPX here, so finally some good news. In what has been quite a difficult session, of course, but that will happen sometimes, obviously. We do still have this trade open. I will not be adding to it because it hasn't met the requirements for that, but I will let it run and hopefully we can have another winning trade here, but let's see. I'll pause you again. I think I will choose to be cautious here, and I will move the stop loss further up, just risking 10 points now. I won't go all the way up to break even because I do think there's a chance we just revisit this level, just go below here and then back up if that happens. So I will give it an extra chance, but we're not that far off from take profit, so let's see. We are of course trying to invalidate this huge bearish candle, so that's gonna play a part here, but I will let the trade run and we will see what happens. I will update you in tomorrow's video, but for now this is it for today. Quite a difficult US session and a complicated day overall. I'm very happy with how I executed my plan, and on days where our entries work, we will recover this and more. So I am definitely optimistic. I like the adjustments I've made going forward. It will enable me to make more points when I'm right, and also make more money on those points when I'm right, of course. So that being said, thank you for watching. Please like the video and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more. I will be posting regular videos, and I will also be soon posting a video that better explains my strategies, and it will just be a video about the strategies and how to create your own mechanical entries and how to make sure that you have an edge. And yeah, hopefully you will join me for that, and until tomorrow, have a nice evening.